What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and we are here today to discuss the Real Housewives of Potomac. This is season 6, and this is episode 5, and the episode is titled The Rumor Mill. So, my bad, you guys. I didn't mean to burp in your face. So, this week, we hand wrote all the notes. You guys can see, right? Yep, there go the note. Like, you guys can see that I hand wrote the notes. So, you guys are going to hear me flipping between the pages. Like, there's one page. And then there's, I wrote really hard because it's like it bled through. It really bled through this spiral notebook. But before we get into the review, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you're not yet subscribed to the channel, then I need you guys to do me a solid favor and hit that subscribe button and stop taking me out on a date and making me pay for it at the end of it. So with that out of the way and without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about Real Housewives of, I'm about to say Salt Lake City. Potomac. I am really ready for Salt Lake City. All right, you guys, let's talk about Hey Arnold Stewie, right? So we see Hey Arnold Stewie, and she and the Hobbit, they're back home with their new bouncing baby Dylan. Now, the one thing that I noticed about Dylan, he's a little cutie, right? But I noticed that, remember, we talked about Dean, right? We talked about the fact that Dean looks just like that gremlin hobbit that he calls his father Michael, right? Well, Dylan looks nothing like either one of them, right? He doesn't even really look like Ashley. You know what? When he can't even say he looked like Sheila, but he doesn't look like any of them. He definitely doesn't look like Dean, and he definitely doesn't look like that troll, hobbit, gremlin he calls a father, right? So we see her, we see Hey Arnold Stewie, we see the troll, goblin, gremlin that is Michael. And I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. Unfortunately, Ashley being a second mother, a two-time mother, it does not change my view or my perception of her. I still don't care for her. Still don't care for Hey Arnold Stewie, right? So then later in the episode, we see Saturn's rings as Saturn's rings goes over to visit her, right? Saturn's rings is really working my nerves, right? But she always works my nerves. So, she's just, they're just talking about how, Dean, he likes to be around little Dylan, but when it's time to play with his toys, Dylan, he's like, forget Dylan, right? So Saturn's rings is talking about how Grace was when she had Adorn and, what's that other baby's name? Adorn is Grace. It's Adorn. Grace, Adorn, and something. It's probably biblical, right? Grace, Adorn, and it ain't happy. It ain't pleasure. Is it treasure? Child, whatever the baby's name is. I don't mean to butcher her name. Grace, Adorn, and Adorn. It's the twin. Hell, it's the twins that I can't think of. Grace and Adorn. And something else. Sorry, little baby, that I don't know your name. I'm so sorry. And I love the babies. But I just can't think of that baby's name. So, Saturn's rings tells her about them going to Candace's house. I don't know why y'all feel the need to keep talking about that is Dorothy's, that was Dorothy's house, right? That is disrespectful as hell, right? Just because her mama's name was on there and her and Chris paid on it, it was her house. She paid on it. She lived there. Like, be respectful. Like, right? That's what gets on my nerves, right, about them. And Hey Arnold Stewie, wasn't your mama living in a motherfucking tent? Okay, that's right. Your mom was living in a tent. At least Candace had an actual roof over her head and not cloth. So, Saturn's rings then tells her about the trip that they're going to Williamsburg, right? So Saturn's rings asked, well, did Candace invite you? Girl, you know she didn't invite her, right? So then Saturn's rings take it upon herself to invite Hey Arnold Stewie. I'm like, girl, this is why the heifer got the butter knife thrown at her the last time you invited her back in the house. But she says, like, come just for one day. So then she tells her about, Mia, boss Mia. I'm glad Mia didn't say in this episode that she's a boss because I cannot continue to hear that, right? So she tells her that, she and Boy Robin, they're going to go out with her, right? So then she talks about Wendy So she's really fixated on the way that Wendy is dressing this season. I mean, Wendy got her titties, she got a BBL, she got her titties done and her ass done. If you're gonna get it done, why would you cover your body? Why would you get surgery? Why would you get plastic surgery anywhere on your body? Why would you get plastic surgery done on your body? Why would you, even if you work out and you get a 6-pack of abs, why would you not show stuff like that's you show it off? Like you show off your perfect physique, right? Girl, you a hater. So then she brings up the Eddie rumor, right? That Eddie had a girlfriend and a baby, allegedly. We don't know that to be true. But then she's talking about, she feels like, because Wendy is so much different than what she was last year. Because, the Wendy that we met last year, she wouldn't be wearing stuff like this. I just feel like maybe she's doing this as, what did she say? I didn't take down what she said, but she feels that Wendy is doing this as, not self-esteem, basically to keep Eddie's attention, so to speak. Like, girl, she's saying she's desperate, and it was her last ditch effort. Basically, is what she was trying to say. Let's talk about your ex-husband that did cheat on you. Did you go get your titties done? Did you go get your ass done to try to keep him? Saturn's rings. I'm gonna need you to shut up because you're working my last damn nerve. But let's move on. And then the fact that Hey Arnold Stew is sitting there, girl, didn't your husband cheat on you? But okay. But y'all want to talk when y'all men have cheated on y'all. But okay, and we saw it. But that ain't my business. But we're gonna move on. All right, you guys. Next up, let's discuss Miss Mia. So we see Mia and her family. So they go out on a picnic, right? So then Mia talks to her oldest son, right? And she asks him if he thinks that she's working too much. And he tells her yes. She says, but do you know why mommy works so much? And you guys remember I was telling you the other day that I saw a joint chiropractic, right? I was like, in these reviews, I'm like, I saw those in Dallas. I actually saw it yesterday when I went, when I was driving around in an area called Frisco. And I saw him, like, I knew I had saw one of those, right? So she says, you know why I work so much, right? He says, so we can have a nice house. She says, it's more than just that, I don't want you. Basically, what it is Mia doesn't want her kids to want for anything. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, right? Because that was how my mom was. My mom worked so that way I didn't have to go without. But my mom also made time to spend with me. So I think that's just what it is for Mia. Mia has to, be able to balance being I'm not even going to say it because I'm so tired of it. She had to juggle being a working mother and being a mother on top of that, right? So then she tells, Gordon that she invited her mom, but she couldn't make it. And she's like, she doesn't know why. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm pretty sure I know why your mom didn't make it, right? Girl, look at Olivia with this, in this boot. What is this movie on BT Her? I'm gonna have to, oh my God, and that hair just looks bad. Never mind, back to the show. So, where we at? So, Mia. The reason I'm thinking like your mama probably didn't come is because of the cameras. Like, I'm pretty sure your mom has an inclination that you're talking about her drug use on camera. I would not want to come on camera, period, point blank, right? So then Mia's telling that, her mom, I guess her mom and her dad didn't work out. And, Mia says her mom tells her that she's a lot like her dad. She says, and see, Mia is really rude. We said that before, right? Like, okay, I guess I can't judge Mia, huh? You can't judge Mia because you said worse to your biological mother. But she tried me. She tried me when she did this one. She tried me and I read her. And you guys might be like, JB, why would you read her? Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you. I'm gonna tell y'all after I talk about Mia. So Mia says that her mom told her she was just like her dad. She says, yes, I am just like him because I'm not like you. But then I'll talk about Mia in a little bit about her dad. That's not I don't know if that was a compliment or not. But obviously Mia and her, she says her mom said that was the only man that she loved. But like I said, I'm going to talk about Mia in a little bit about that. That's not a good compliment, right, about your dad. But back to my little story. So you guys are probably like, JB, what did you say to your mom? Well, long story short, actually, I'm going to give y'all the whole story. It ain't a long story. Really, it's not. So my grandfather was sick in the hospital, right? And my mom, who raised me, my adoptive mother, who's my biological aunt, we were in the hospital room, and my biological mom had said something to my mother, And I said something. I said something back like you should respect her or something. I said something back to her, right? I'm like, you gotta respect my mom or something like that. I said something to her, right? I didn't say anything disrespectful to her, but she came back at me like I'm your mama. That's exactly what it was. I said, you talking out the side of your neck, like this is my mama. You need to respect her. Like, have some respect for her because she did something for you. She took me in. She raised me, your child that you gave birth to, and she says, well, I'm your mama. And then I hit her back because she was doing it to get at me. She was trying to get back at me. I'm like, wait a minute. What you're not gonna do is you're not gonna sit here in my face, because this is where we really went left. I'm like, you're not gonna sit here in my face and ever disrespect my mama. Like, you're not gonna do that. That's what you're not gonna do is disrespect. That's actually what I said to her. You're not gonna sit here in my face and disrespect my mama. And she said, well, I'm your mama. I said, you know what? Dogs have babies too. That doesn't make them any more of a mother to me than you are. And she shut up. Because I'm like, you're not going to sit here in my face and disrespect my mother. Like, you're not going to disrespect my mother. And actually, I didn't say dog. I actually said the word. I said, dogs give birth. That doesn't make that bitch any more of a mother than you. And my mama looked at me. She was like, Jerome, shut up. I'm like, but it's true. I'm like, she was trying to take a jab at me, but I took a harder one at you. And her feelings got hurt, which I didn't feel bad about it, but don't disrespect the person that did something for you. You feel what I'm saying? Like, don't do that. Don't do that, baby. Don't do that. But let's move on, you guys. All right, you guys. I think what I'm gonna do is, before I get to Candace, I think we're gonna talk about Saturn's rings and Wendy. But I think we're gonna go ahead and talk about Wendy first, right? So we first see Wendy as Wendy is recording her lecture for her class. And that's so interesting though, because you guys, I just applied to go to, you guys know I applied to go to grad school. You guys know I didn't get accepted into grad school. But what I'm going to do, I need to send an email. What I am going to do, however, is I have to go take a test to, my GMAT test so that I can get into school. So I have to do that. But I am going to go to film school in the meantime. And, they were talking about how lectures are recorded. So we see, like I said, Wendy's recording her lecture, but unfortunately, her family is very loud, right? So then after the lecture, she and Eddie talk, right? Because she noticed that her shirt is down, right? She's like, I'm a professor, but I listen to trap music, and I'm a political commentator, but I curse like a sailor. So then they start talking about her candle line. So Eddie, just thinks that she's taking on too much, which I actually might agree with. I thought she was, maybe she went adjunct. Is that what it's called? I think she may have went adjunct. Because I had a teacher that was adjunct when I was in college, and I didn't understand it then, but it's part-time, right? So he asked her if she feels fulfilled, and she says, do you? And at this point, I was looking at Wendy. I'm like, Wendy, you have nothing figured out. Like, I guess because I'm a business major and I did a business plan, so I understood what Eddie was saying. Like, Wendy doesn't have a business plan. Wendy doesn't have a mission. Wendy doesn't even know where her funding is going to come from. She's talking about, my funding is you. He was like, oh no, those pockets are closed up, right? She doesn't, and Wendy also, the name that she's come up with for her candles, right? She hasn't even looked to see if it's got a patent on it, if it's got copyrights on it, anything like that. So it just seems to me like Wendy just said, hey, I just want to do a candle line, a home goods line, and didn't even do her research, right? Because I was actually just talking to one of my good friends, like she's going to school to be an esthetician, and she was talking about she was trying to come up with a name, but she's having a writer's block when it comes to her name, right? And I told her, first thing you want to make sure is, because she said she has a name in mind. I'm like, well, whatever name you have in mind, you might want to first make sure that name is not taken, and if it is, put a patent and all that, copyright that, patent it, put it to pen and paper, right? And so I told her that, and I'm thinking to myself, like, Wendy, you're a professor at Johns Hopkins. How did you not know to make sure your name was good? How did you not know you needed a business plan and a mission? But whatever. She, okay, she'll find out the hard way, right? If you put that shit on the market and somebody comes back and sues you because you infringed on their copyright, you'll learn the hard way. But let's move on. All right, you guys, let's talk about Saturn's rings, right? So Saturn's rings and Boy Robin, so they are finally meeting up with Miss Boss Mia. So Mia comes there like really dressed up, right? So, she tells them like, I didn't want it to think, I didn't want you guys to feel that I was coming off being rude. Well, baby, you were rude in that comment. Now, like I said last week, I understood both sides of the spectrum. I got where Giselle was coming, Saturn's rings was coming from, and I got where Mia was coming from. If I'm inviting you out somewhere, and if I'm inviting you somewhere, I don't want you to then invite someone else. But here's the thing. Saturn's ring just did that in this episode with Candace in this trip that she's having. So it would kind of be like turnabout is fair play, right? So then, she tells him about her story, right? About her being in foster care. Now here's where we're going to talk about her dad, right? So you guys remember I told you a few minutes ago that Mia said that her mom would tell her that she's like her dad, and she's like, yeah, because I'm nothing like you. I wouldn't want to be like either one of your parents, to be quite honest with you. No disrespect, no shade to either one of your parents. Especially to your mother. Drug addiction is a sickness, so I'm not judging her mother by no means, So I'm not judging her mom. I don't want it to come off that way that I'm judging her mother because, things happen to us in life, right? And some people take different ways of coping with it. So I'm not going to sit here and be, hard or rough on her mom. But maybe she could have something. I'm pretty sure her mom has some good redeeming qualities, right? Outside of the drug addiction, right? So, like I said, she was in foster care. So she said that her dad abused her stepmother, right? And I think she said she was bleeding, and then she went downstairs to try to stop it, right? And when she did that, he threw her into the TV, and she got cut all up. And the next day she went to school. One of her friends noticed that she was, still bleeding. I'm like, damn. How hard did he shove you into the TV for you to still be bleeding? Well, damn. Or it must have been like, Jesus Christ, right? That's fucked up, right? But I would rather kids be in a foster home as opposed to being in a house with an abusive parent. Damn. And that's why I was like, I don't know if that's a good thing that you say that, yes, you're like your father because you're nothing like your mom. If your father was an abusive person, I wouldn't want to be like that. So that means that you have those I'm not saying that she's abusive, but that means that you have some not so good qualities about you. You probably can be verbally, well, we all know that she can be with the way she talked to Giselle. So I wouldn't be surprised if she's probably verbally abusive, right? Verbally, mentally, and she could physically. I'm not saying she is, but for you to say that you like your father and you said your father was abusive, that's not a good look, Mia. So then, Boy Robin tells about Juan's parents, how his parents passed away from AIDS because they were on heroin. And Mia says, that's the same thing with my dad. He was on heroin and he passed away from AIDS. Very sad, right? See the baby? Not everybody that has HIV or AIDS is gay. You can get, like I said, blood and semen. But we're gonna move on. All right, you guys, and then we're gonna talk about Candace, right? So we see Candace. So Candace is back home. She's packing for the trip, and she's hosting the trip this year, and it's in Williamsburg. So then we see she and Chris, they're talking, right? So Chris tells her that when she gets back, they're gonna be shooting both of her music videos. I'm like, both of them? I'm like, oh, Candace, come on, girl. Now, after last week's episode, I actually went and listened to her new single, Drive Home, Drive Back. Is it Drive Back or Drive Home? It's one of those two. I wonder why did they promote it? I didn't even know if they promoted it in the episode. At least like with Love and Hip Hop, when they go to a commercial, they'll be like, if you want to get music from the cast, they'll show it. I mean, hell, they promoted the hell out of Target for the Party. They promote the hell out of it, but you know, I just think about it. It's the white people that they promote their music a lot. They promote Target for the Party. They promoted pretty much every song by Luann, right? They promoted Melissa Gorga's song, which was trash. And it's so interesting that out of all the housewives that have done music in Housewives franchise, actually, I was just about to say Candace is the only one that has talent that can sing. Candy, if you get past Candy's goat yodeling, she's okay. But I actually forgot that Adriana from Real Housewives of Miami is a singer, and Adriana actually sang the theme song for Real Housewives of Miami. Okay. Um, yeah. Where we at? So, but yeah, go check out Candace's video, you guys. It's really good. The song is good. I like the song. Actually, in the video, she has the cast in there. So you see Wendy, you see Escala, you see Boy Robin, you see Saturn's Rings, you see Karen. Just thought about it. You see everybody but Ashley. Hey Arnold Stewie. You saw everybody but Hey Arnold Stewie. Maybe Hey Arnold Stewie was still dealing with baby Dylan. So, Chris asked about Ashley, right? She says, well, I'm pretty sure Ashley is still, Hey Arnold Stewie. She's still dealing with the newborn. He says, well, how about you reach out to her? I was thinking to myself, I wouldn't reach out to Hey Arnold Stewie for shit in this world, right? But whatever. So then we see all the ladies. They meet up at Candace's house to get on the bus to head to Williamsburg. So Saturn's Rings, she's really annoying the fuck out of me, right? She keeps talking about the fact that Wendy, ooh, I see all of Wendy's titties in her ass. Once again, Wendy paid for them. I would hope that she would show them off instead of being covered up like a nun. She just bought new titties. Like that's like when you get a new car. You show off your new car. Like anything you get that's new, you show that bitch off until it's old. I'm not saying her titties gonna get old, but I'm just saying until the new car smell wears off, you show the bitch off. Girl, Saturn's Rings, just say you want to go get your neck done, go get your breast done, and your butt done too. Go say you want to get them rings removed around your neck. That's really what it is, right? So they ask Mia about does she have a nanny for her kids, right? She says no. Gordon's gonna stay with them. She's like, but I have a camera, so I'll be watching them. And Scott's like, girl, me too. Like I have a camera at home that watches my husband and my kids, and so, he gets so upset when I be watching them, and I come on the camera and I say, I speak through the camera. What kind of camera is that, right? So then we find out that Juan shut up Boy Robin's club. Didn't even know that. So then, there's a stripper pole in there, right? So they all take turns on the stripper pole. Saturn's Rings, don't know what she was doing. Karen, girl, what was you doing? Boy Robin, could done without her too. Candace, okay. Escala, did good. Wendy, fell on her ass. But it was funny though. Mia. Girl, I'ma need you to stop saying that you did not dance on the pole, because baby girl, you can't tell me that you didn't, because you was a lie. A lie don't care who tell it, right? So Candace tells them about the setup for the house, right? So there's a main house, and then they're on an estate. There's a main house, and then there's like a clubhouse, or a cottage to be exact. But the cottage is like an actual home, right? So she tells them how the setup is gonna go. That in the big house is gonna be she, Saturn's Rings, Boy Robin, and Mia. And in the cottage, it's gonna be Karen, Escala, and Wendy. So Karen tells them, and she's like, because Karen's gonna be dipping out on Friday, right? So Karen's going to Surrey, to be inducted or whatever, right? So Karen's like, well, I've already asked Mia if she would come with me, and she's agreed. But I have room for one more person, because of COVID and the restrictions. I would love to know if you would come with me, Wendy. My family is very pleased to meet you. Wendy says, yeah. Saturn's Rings was in her feelings. I'm like, girl, get out your bag. Get out your bag. But let's move on, you guys, and we're going to wrap it up. All right, you guys. So we finally make it to Williamsburg. I will say that estate, it's very, very nice, right? So, like I said, in the main house, it was Boy Robin, it's Giselle, it's Mia, and it's Candace, and in the cottage, it's Karen, Ascala, and Wendy, right? So they go, so they were looking at the rooms, right? So Boy Robin and Saturn's Rings asked Candace, are we gonna have to, basically fight for our room? She says, no, go find your own room. So Boy Robin, Saturn's Rings, and Mia, they went and found their own rooms, right? And they said that Barack Obama, I think the room that Mia picked, Barack Obama stayed in it. President Barack Obama, let me correct myself. President Barack Obama stayed in that room, right? So then they go to sit down and have lunch or dinner or whatever they had, right? So Mia's a lot better than me, right? Because Boy Robin wants, I guess, so I guess there are levels to the house, right? I'm pretty sure there are, right? So I guess Boy Robin wants to be with her girlfriend, Saturn's Rings. So she tells, she literally kicked Mia out of her room that she picked. I would have told Boy Robin, girl, fuck you. But Mia said, you can have it. Nah, boo. I picked that room. The room that you picked, you stay in it. Man, I would have cussed Boy Robin's ass outright. So then Saturn's Ring says, well, does anybody want to apologize? And Karen says, are you talking to me? She says, yes. She says, I feel like you owe me one, right? So Saturn's Ring's whole thing is the fact of Karen's talking about her family. So they show us some tweets that Karen said, right? I didn't really read the tweets, and then they show the clip of the reunion, and all Karen said to Saturn's Rings was, your father said that Jamal has had another baby. Is that true? Andy asked you that on Watch What Happens Live when you were on there with Kim. So what was the big issue? Like, girl, you still upset about that damn binder. That's what it is. Say that you're upset about the binder. We can move on, right? So, but Karen says, well, you could have pulled me to the side and we could have talked to this. But she says, I feel like you owe me an apology. And, they're like, for what? See, Boy Robin, I want her to mind her business. So when he says, is this about, her wishing death on Ray? She says, yes. Now, Karen, I love you, but I can call you out on your shit, right? As much as I don't like Saturn's Rings, she did not wish death on Ray. And you are being extra as hell at this point, right? She didn't wish death on the man. What she said was when Uncle Ray told her that, her looks would fade, she said, you would be dead and gone before these looks fade. Nowhere in there did she say that I want that man to, die. So you're putting 20 on 10, Karen, I love you, but you're putting 20 on 10, my love. But that's the review, you guys. Let me know what you guys thought about it. Please leave your comments in the comment section below and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell button so you guys are notified when I drop anything else, and share this video. And until the next one, you guys, do me a favor out there. Stay safe, take care of yourselves. Remember, wash your hands, wear a mask, you guys. Please wear a mask. I know that they're uncomfortable, but please wear them. If you choose not to, just be safe, you guys. That's the one thing I can ask you guys is be safe and be blessed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. So tomorrow I will have up episode 4 of Power Book 3. Don't ask me what time it'll be up, but it will be up sometime tomorrow because I got to watch the week before, I got to watch the last 2 episodes, so episode 2 and 3, and then 4. But they'll be up. Bye, guys.